I mean, yeah, sure, anime is fun and easily enjoyed. But what about manhwa and mangas? They deserve some love too, don't you think? This list will talk about the top 10 manhwas with an OPMC that will surprise you. So, before we begin, remember to subscribe if you haven't yet, and press that bell icon to stay updated of all the new content we're creating. And beware for the following spoilers. 10. Langhwan Library. This is the tale of the adventures of Yang Rui, a normal teacher that gets isekai'd into a foreign world, gaining the title of Langhwan Library Dean, which is one of the 3 heavenly palaces in that world, and all the books and knowledge about cultivation in it are now under his disposal. His journey starts off as a mission to gather disciples under his wing, unlocking the secret techniques of said library for his own use, as well as his students. However, later on in the story, as an evil nation rises to control all else and destroy the balance between cultivators and mortals, Yang Rui and his chosen disciples have to rise up to the challenge and protect their world. This manhwa is decent when it comes to story elements, as well as art-wise, with the occasional funny scenes or panty shots for the fan service. The manhwa itself is still ongoing, and with every chapter it keeps gaining momentum and potential. If you like powerful main characters with broken abilities and cool looks, then this manhwa is definitely the one for you. 9. Lin Fei Chuan, Supreme Martial Deity. Welcome to the Isekai Express, and say hello to the newest victim of Truck-kun. Having a shitty work and love life, the nameless hero is killed and sent to a new world into the body of the prominent and brimming with potential cultivator Lin Fei. From the title, you can already figure out that he isn't an easy person to fight or go up against. You can't be a supreme martial deity if you're weak now, can you? After his revival in Lin Fei body, progressing through realms and cultivating skills became much easier for him, even fighting with others higher than his level with ease. This manhwa was a project that was dropped 2 years ago, but now it's back in the making with 16 chapters under its belt. The story might seem rough at the edges at first, but it has a way to attract the readers and immerse them in the world of Lin Fei, watching him grow with every battle and achieving his potential. 8. Lord of the Universe. In contrast to usual isekai plots of a new hero climbing up the ranks, building his harem and learning fighting skills, this manhwa starts after the main character achieved all he ever wanted, with his own castle and cast of sexy ladies swarming around him. He's an immortal that has been living for over 3,000 years. With all this time under his belt, it comes to reason how powerful and broken he might seem with his powers of space manipulation, said to be one of the 7 strongest immortal powers. The plot directly drags us into a war we didn't ask for between 2 sects we know too little about. The manhwa seems interesting, and it's ongoing with 116 chapters so far. It's a good way to spend some of the free time on your hand, and it has a lot of beautiful busty girls as a bonus. 7. Master of Legendary Realms. Nothing better to draw everyone's interest than a typical story of vengeance and retribution. Ives found himself the leader of the supreme heavenly sect appointed by his master before his ascension into an immortal. Being at such a young age and leading that powerful sect, Ives put his revenge plan in action to deliver a destructive blow for all who ever wronged him, and took from him all he holds dear to his heart. His mission won't be a simple one, however. Facing a lot of adversaries and enemies, as well as forming alliances and planning ahead of his opponents, Ives has a lot on his plate. But he's more than capable to deal with all the problems he faces in the future. This manhwa is one of the few ones that actually explains the basics of cultivation and how many levels it has in detail. The story seems intriguing, and I'm personally invested to find out if revenge will consume Ives or he'll achieve his goal. The manhwa is still ongoing at a total of 303 chapters so far. True, it is a long manga, but it seems so fun and time flies when you're having fun, so give it a try. 6. Modern Day God. This story will 100% make you dizzy. Lin Fei, the main character, dies being backstabbed by some guy bearing a scar on his face, and instead of dying, gets transported to the Celestial Realm, where he lives for 20 years learning to cultivate the key of the realm and unlocking the highest potential possible in the process, only to be stabbed in the back again by someone he thought to be his friend, and gets killed by him again. However, in a stroke of good luck, he's reborn on Earth exactly the same time he was killed in the first place, surviving the assassination attempt. Everything comes with a price though, and this time it was him losing his powers from his time in the Heavenly Realm. For a while, he was also unable to cultivate his powers, since the Heavenly Realm key isn't compatible with that of Earth. Now, Lin Fei has to discover and delve through a big conspiracy being sown right under his nose to kill cultivators and weaken the prominent cultivator families in the process. The manhwa is rough a bit at the edges, and it spends the first 3 chapters explaining what cultivation is and so on, which isn't a bad idea in its own, but it might lose some of the readers since it's a confusing concept to say the least. The project is going great, and with a lot of hands on deck, the creator of the manga is doing his best to release 1 chapter weekly. So, go support the project and check it out. 5. Ore no lega Marioko spot dataken. Sundere dake de sekai saikyo. Okay, before we start, this manga contains adult content, so be aware who you read it next to. With that out of the way, we can start talking about the actual manga. The main character has been living all his life on a dragon vein, a source of great power and magical energy wanted by everyone. After he was isekai to a different world, 3 magical girls approached his house and were making a fuss. Only by screaming at them, he was able to fling them the many meters in the air, and one of them even pissed herself just by the sheer pressure. His power has some serious fus ro da shit if you ask me. Skyrim reference. This is without question a harem manhwa with heavy content having both censored and uncensored versions. His main goal is to protect his house and guard it from all who want to take over it because of the dragon vein it resides on. With a lot of magic in his body, the MC will need to learn how to control and channel the immense power he possesses. The story isn't that original, but it's good too and seems like a lot of fun with all the fan service it includes and plot materials. 4. Rebirth. City Deity. In his previous life, he wasted his mother's hard work and savings she kept for his school tuition on girls and living the rich people's lifestyle, not having a care in the world. Almost close to attaining godhood, he sacrifices 5,000 years of cultivation and godhood for a chance to return to his life and fix all his mistakes, with the wake-up call to his behavior being the death of his sister. As he returns to his old life, his main concern is protecting his sister and making fast money to protect his family and try to avert the previous tragedy from happening again. He's a changed man and ready to atone for his sins. The manhwa so far is interesting and fun, with a lot of similar elements between it and other Chinese manhwa, especially when it comes to the power system and whatnot. 3. Seeking the Flying Sword Path. Yune returns home after years of seclusion and being away on his adventures around the world. He returns home with a warm welcome from all his family members, but thanks to his immense powers and skills, he is directly able to detect the dark demonic power around his older brother. Tracking down the source, he encounters a group of demons and dispatches them easily, revealing his powerful skill he is cultivating called the Flying Sword. Enlightened by the skill is one thing, but tempering the sword and cultivating it is a whole different process. Yune will defeat anyone that tries to harm the stability and safety of his family, disintegrating them with utmost prejudice. The manhwa is still like a newborn, brimming with potential, and if the first 3 chapters are that eventful, I can't imagine what the rest of the story will be like and how interesting it would be to read it. 1. Shin Yin Wang Zuan. This anime is what happens if Naruto was a story of Rock Lee instead. It drags us into the life of Long Hao Chen, an apprentice knight brimming with potential and power. He's even noticed by an elite knight and given a special training by him to help him achieve his hidden potential. The world building is nice and the characters are unique. Whether in character or looks, each character has something that makes them special. The atmosphere of the world gives off a feeling of Dragon Quest. The manhwa has 200 plus chapters, and it's a lot of fun and interesting. Watching Long Hao learn with each encounter and strengthen himself is nice to see. 1. Strongest Abandoned Son. After the death of his whole clan, the MC is saved by his master and transported to our world at the price of his master's life. The person he reincarnated into is as worthless and pathetic as they come. Having found out that he's no of the wealthy and powerful Yi family, he was kicked out of the house and lost all his status and respect between his peers, turning his life into a living hell. Yimo Or, the one in his body, only aims to get money any way possible to help him cultivate his skills and regaining his previous strength in hopes of one day returning to his master's side and avenging her demise. The manhwa has a lot of serious themes and cool-looking fights, with the inclusion of some funny scenes as well. As the manga's going, it seems to share a lot of the harem manga qualities, with the girls swarming all around the main character. Art style is nice, and the events taking place are well illustrated. The manhwa has potential to say the least, and with 100 plus chapters, it is safe to say that they are doing something right to keep the manhwa going on. And with this, we conclude our video. If you enjoyed this list, I want you to smash that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and press that bell icon to keep you notified of all our new videos. Also, comment down below on the anime you liked the most on this list and if you're planning to watch any of them. And if you have any suggestions, place them in the comments as well. Until next time, see ya!